Oh, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Woods and Lakes. Anyway, we're going to show you what we did here. I think we... Anyways, let's look at this. There you see our shifter, which goes forward and backward. And you see our rod coming back. And we have this little brake thing off of a go-kart, which has to be welded. We put this pipe on, as you can see, from frame to frame, and this pipe will turn when that's welded on there. So when you shift it, this pipe turns. Now, we have this piece, and this piece will go on the pipe welded on there, and it will turn like this. And then this piece will bolt on there and go back to our shifter and go back and forth this way, and we'll pull this up. As you see, we got this piece here. Now, we needed a good heavy-duty shaft, so we put a shaft in there. This piece here is bolted to the frame, as you can see. This was a trailer hitch. The ball went here, and this went this way on the back of the other cart, and we used it in here. We put a shaft through here with our arm to go up to the front, and then we made this to go down to here, and then we put another shaft through there to the frame and tightened it up so it's good and sturdy, and we made this, and this goes to our transmission. Here's our rod on the transmission. This goes up and down. Right now it's in 5th gear, and if you pull this back, as you can see, it starts to rise up, and to reverse. And what happens here is it goes that way. It doesn't pull up anymore, it pulls back. Not only that, but you see the rod now is straight up, which means that the rod going here for the transmission is going to pull straight, and it's not going to lift. There's no more lift to get one more gear on here. See, this travels from reverse all the way down 5 speeds. There's like a 6-7 inch gap in this. If it only moved up and down, you know, you could have that thing. But there's our shift bracket, and as you see here, our transmission bracket, we had to come and make one over the top to here because our shifter is in here and goes up and down, so we can't use a bracket on the transmission like we did over here. You see, this one is bolted here and down there with spacers, and our transmission's solid, so we used a bracket over the top, and then we used one at the bottom that bolts to the tranny. Then our clutch is slid on there with a key we made, a lock collar here, a lock collar down in there, and you see our special bracket down here, which has our pillow bearing, and that holds our clutch in, and our clutch isn't going to move, as you can see there, and that's all done like that. Then as we come over the top, we put a cross member in here with brackets so the cross member can come up and down. As you see, the cross member goes to the other side. Now we made a bracket here with our idler pulley, and our other pulley pulls back. The belt goes around here and down to the rear end. This was a jack shaft plate off of the mini bike, which we used. We put a shaft through there with a lock collar, and it comes over here to our pulley. What we need to do now is we're getting a spring, a heavy spring, that'll go on here and pull this down this way to the frame. So what our problem is now is how to figure out to get this down lower, how to get down here. But when it swings back to here, it's the right angle. It's at an angle like this. But what happens is when you shift it, then it goes up like this, and then there's no lift to get that last gear because this thing is straight across. And this thing pushes down and it slips back too far this way. We've tried all kinds of brackets. We've tried to make everything. We've tried everything. But there's our main setup. As you can see, all our belts line up straight, all our clutch. So the engine turns counterclockwise. It turns the clutch counterclockwise. It turns this, which turns the rear end. When you put it in reverse,